And good Wednesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday, May 12th. Time for This Week in ABATE. My name is Josh Wachowski, State Legislative Coordinator. The video that you saw previous to this, that was Tobacco Motorwear. That is their Start Seeing Bikers campaign that they do. They did that actually last year. It kind of caught on a little bit. They've got a new one this year that maybe I'll play for us next week. Go check them out on YouTube. They kind of are a niche little clothing company, but they make some really good PSAs about motorcyclists, bikers, and how motorists should be around us. Their new one for this year is called Hey America, Get a Pair, referring to a pair of wheels. I know we think they should get another pair of something else, but it's a pretty good one too. It's out there. Anyway, it is time for This Week in ABATE. As you can see right next to me, Bikers in the Beltway is what we are going to start off with. Bikers in the Beltway was this week. It was out there in Washington, D.C. Had a little bit different look to it, I guess is what you want to say. From what I understand, the Capitol still has fencing around it. The only way to get in for meetings is that you're escorted in, you're escorted out. Our state coordinator, Ryan Hubbard, went out there. Rich Amling from Mid-State A.B.A.T.E with his wife, Barb. They always go out for Bikers in the Beltway. This is coordinated by the Motorcycle Riders Foundation. That's the same group that Rocky Fox, who was on earlier in the month with us, he's from Motorcycle Riders Foundation. They kind of act as a national group. They coordinate getting a lot of the state motorcycle rights organizations out there for this week to go and lobby their legislators out in Congress. So that's what Bikers in the Beltway was. And if you follow our page, you saw a picture of Ryan, Rich, and Barb with Congressman Darren LaHood of the 18th Congressional. Darren is a very, very good friend of A.B.A.T.E. I can tell you that he's one of the ones that whenever we need anything, it's just simply a text message away. Always wants us at his events, always talks to us, incredibly just amazing supporter for us out there in DC. But it is important to notice that, hey, this is what goes on. This is yet another thing that A.B.A.T.E of Illinois does as part of other organizations to bring our voice to the elected representatives. Having said that, State House wise, we're just going to go there next here. Give me one moment. So State House, down at the Illinois State House, really nothing's moving on our stuff, right? I shouldn't say nothing's moving. It's moving, but there isn't anything that we need to do to make it move. We have Senate Bill 1231, which is carrying the amended language regarding oversized off-highway vehicles. That has made it, I think, through the House now at this point, or it's coming up on third. House Bill 656 has just about made it completely through the Senate. Hopefully, both of these bills are being sent to the governor's desk here within the next week or so for signing. There is a little bit of a log jam. It's one of the weird things with what's going on down there at the State House. It doesn't seem that they're advancing a whole lot. They're just kind of holding everything for these consent piles, basically, with lack of a better term for them. So what you're going to see is just a bunch of bills go through all at once. So that's a little weird going on. There's other things that they're fighting out down at the State House. Energy legislation. They've got to do the budget. They've got remapping for districts. These are all just huge things sucking up just about every piece of oxygen down there at the State House. So our stuff is just kind of staying a little bit under the radar, with the exception of everybody's favorite trailer plates. And I'm not going to cover those just right now. Instead, I'm going to let you know, hey, here's where we're at with our State House stuff. For those that are asking about profiling issues, we're still about the same place that we were at last week. We're still working on getting the language together for the gaming board. I want to be able to run it past Ryan. Ryan should be back home by now from Washington, D.C., but I don't want to bother him on his day that he's traveling. I'll just be honest about it. So hopefully we have that put together later this week, and we may be releasing that to everybody else. Outside of that, you did hear earlier, a little late last week, I should say, we did mention the gaming board issue with Bishop on Air. I did an interview with him Thursday last week. It was a good interview. got some statewide airplay, but we managed to talk about several ABATE issues in addition to the trailer plates, which I'm saving for last, very intentionally. It seems to be one of those things that we get asked about towards the end of the show, so we will talk about it there. But without further ado, I'm going to bring on Mr. Chris Hansen, and we are going to cover the upcoming events for this week in ABATE. Chris, if you would, take it away, buddy.
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. And yeah, we're going to talk events, and we're going to start off this Friday, May 21st, a event that I'm pretty excited about. I know our Duquesne chapter has people attending this, and it is the Middle East Conflicts wall escort being put on by Open Roads. They are going to be escorting the Middle East Conflicts wall across the state, and it's going all the way into Oswego. If you check out their flyer, you can see all the different points that you can meet up with them at, as they're obviously starting, but they're stopping in different sections on the way through, so you can meet up with them in different parts to escort that in. I know State Rep Stephanie Kiffwood is going to be at the ending point. She's asked for people to be there in support for all this, so definitely make it a point. Do your part and escort that wall across the state with Open Roads. Then we're going to go on to Saturday the 22nd, and that is the Eastern Illinois ABATE annual Roll the Bones Run in memory of all that have left us. I pointed it out last week, but there is a new starting point. So you're going to meet at the Log Cabin Bar and Grill. Sign up is 9 to 11. It's $10 a person, and kickstands are up at 11. So you can get out and ride with Eastern Illinois ABATE. Also that day is the Liberty ABATE Poker Run. That's sign up at the Mattoon Moose from 9 to 9:45. Kickstands are up at 10, and it's only $5 to ride. You're not going to find them much cheaper than that. So they'll be heading to Buford's Pub and end up at the Triple Nickel, different poker hands, 50-50 participation raffles. So get out and ride with Liberty ABATE. Also, then on the 22nd is the Kishwaukee Valley Veterans Memorial Run. I'm loving all these veterans rides that are out there. It's great to see people supporting our troops and veterans. This ride is at Roscoe VFW. It's $10 a person. Sign-ups from 11 to noon, and then they take off at noon. It is open to the public. You can contact Kurt for more info on that ride. And then another one on the 22nd is the Crawford County chapter Because We Can ride. They'll be riding to Elizabethtown. It's $10 a person, 15 for a couple. All riders are welcome. They're going to be riding to E-Town River Restaurant with stops along the way, 50-50 raffles. It's about 280 miles. I mean, so $10 and you're putting on 280 miles. Cannot beat that. All proceeds go to ABATE. So definitely make sure you're there. Like I said, ride with them. And then on the 28th to 30th of May, we've got a whole weekend event. It is the Central Illinois ABATE 40th Annual Big River Reunion. It's sponsored by the ABATE Old Timers. And they're remembering our brothers Jimmy Dean and Gary Johnson. Friday, you set up for camping anytime before dark, breakfast on Saturday, and then Sunday there's a potluck. They want you to bring a dish to pass. It's all located at the Shady Pines Campground in Big River State Forest in Keithsburg, Illinois. So get out and party all weekend with Central Illinois ABATE. And then June 5th, it is the Shoal Creek ABATE Veterans Ride, another ride for the vets. Sign-ups from 10 to 11 at the American Legion. Kickstands are up at 11. It's a 75-mile ride. They're going to be stopping at various VFWs and American Legions, which is pretty darn cool. They're going to end up at another VFW at the ending point. They've got 50-50 raffles, the whole deal. So get out and join Shoal Creek, another ride for veterans. And then on June 12th is the 10 Mile Creek Chapter Flag Day Run. It's $10 a person, $15 per couple. It's leaving the VFW post, ending at the depot. Kickstands are up at 10 o'clock with registration from 9 to 10. This is to show appreciation again for our veterans and their service in protecting our flag, which is extremely important. Obviously, as you know, a lot of veterans in ABATE of Illinois, so definitely good to support. Then there's a couple more on the 12th. We've got the Heart of Illinois ABATE Fun Run. It's only $5 a person. Food and drinks are available at stops. Sign up is from 10 to 11. 11, they take off and go. They're starting at Cadillac Jacks. So you can definitely get out and ride with Heart of Illinois. They end at the Vault Bar and Grill. So ride with them. And then the last one I'm going to touch on tonight, events-wise, is the annual ABATE of Illinois State Party. It's June 24th to 27th. Gates open at 9 a.m. on Thursday. dinner ride that night, live music, live DJ. Friday, they've got cart games, chapter challenges, fairgrounds poker run, more music. Music all weekend, adult t-shirt contest on Saturday with bikers games, open invite bike show. This is 18 plus only. Don't bring your kids. You can see the pricing there for early bird in general. To reserve a spot or get any questions answered, email abateil87@yahoo.com, and you can get more info that way, or you can check out the abate-il.org website for all the info on that. So those are all your upcoming events that I've got. So Josh, back to you.
Yeah. And of course, what would a weekly show be without the sound cutting out on us yet again? Well, there we go. We're back. So, in case everybody can't tell, it is going to be a slightly shortened show than what we normally have. There just hasn't been a lot update wise. The State House met on Thursday. They adjourned before really Friday morning much. And then it came back around. So yes, I see the comments down there. Sorry for the lag. Sorry for the audio. But anyway, everybody's favorite trailer plates. What do we say here? If you saw what I posted on Monday, that pretty much stands. The operating engineers testified in committee last week that they are willing to go with $36. I've seen, I don't know how many complaints online. People are like, well, why aren't we fighting to get it back to 18? If you want to know why, I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. I want you to go to the Illinois State Board of Elections website, and I want you to look up Operating Engineers Local 150, or any variation of that name. I want you to see how much money they have to get people elected. This might give you a little bit of a better idea of what we face or what we're actually up against down at the State House. I was speaking with our lobbyist, Todd Vandermeid, earlier this week, and I got to clean it up a little bit. But the basic gist, the saying that he said was that there are people who are, take your choice explicative out of their minds, and then there are people who understand the realities of politics in Illinois. That's the basic gist. It may make people angry, and I get that. I understand that. But we face the realities that we face, and we have to take what we can take where we can get it. Now, I will tell you, there is a significant number of legislators that are interested in seeing the fee be $29 instead of $36. So we are going to kind of start taking a look at that. Lest Operating Engineers 150 wants to be known as the group that was in favor of the $100 500% increase on trailer plates, but that's up to them. But we are looking at how we're going to handle all of this. James, I see what you're saying. Yes, it is too much. I get that. But we do what we can. There isn't a lot you can do. You can't force legislators to stop taxing us. They want to be able to cut ribbons at jobs, and those jobs are paid, or cut ribbons at projects, and those projects are paid for through these fee increases. So they get to tax the crap out of us and then cut ribbons at projects and go, hey, look at what we did. Meanwhile, completely ignoring the small mom and pop places, the people that are on fixed income, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, everybody else under the sun who's just struggling to get by. Quite frankly, they don't care. That'll just be the way I'll leave that. They really don't care on this particular issue. If they did, they wouldn't let a bill with 63 co-sponsors just languish in committee. If you're angry about it, call your representative, call your senator, call State Representative Mike Zaleski, who's head of the Revenue Committee and wouldn't let that bill be heard this year. Those are the people you want to talk to. That's the best thing I can tell you. I wish you the best of luck on it, because I think it's pretty much going to fall on deaf ears down there. But that's what we're dealing with. The other thing on trailer plates, I don't know how many people keep asking about that ST plate. It's a bad deal. I can almost about 90% guarantee you there's going to be a piece of legislation next year that says that plate is not to be pulled behind a passenger vehicle. So, yeah, let's not do that, because yeah, you're going to find yourself out in the cold pretty quick on that one. So, with all of that going on, David, I see where you're saying $36 lifetime. This is Illinois. You're not going to get $36 lifetime. They're going to want 36 every year because they see it as a way to keep paying for revenue for road projects. They saw that $27.4 million come in, and the dollar signs flashed before their eyes as to what little projects they could manage to get done. James, you're asking if it's lifetime. No, it is not lifetime. It is 36 annually. And yes, you can expect that it will probably go up again in another 10 years to whatever they decide to put on us next. It's just the way things work in Illinois. Yes, it's one of the reasons why people really don't like this state, and I understand that. But we're here. We got to make the best of it. We have to work within the political realities, take small victories where we can. 36 is a hell of a lot better than 118. So, with all of that said, the one thing that this trailer plate thing has shown us, and it's very similar to another issue that we're facing. You saw where I said bikers in the Beltway earlier in the broadcast. We have a situation with Washington, D.C. that we also have here locally, and it's very, very interesting. It is where we have people who say they're friends of ours. They say they support us. They talk about, hey, here's all the great things that we want to do with ABATE. Or they show up to motorcycle events and they try to portray themselves as great friends of motorcyclists. And then all of a sudden they just disappear when we actually need them. On the trailer plate issue, Mike Zaleski has usually been pretty good for A.B.A.T.E of Illinois. But here he wouldn't let this bill be heard, even though it had 63 co-sponsors. So yeah, we're going to take a look at how that relationship is affected because of his inability to realize that $100 was a ridiculous increase that should have never happened in the first place. I guarantee you it's going to be a topic of conversation when the Political Action Committee takes a look at their grading for the next election cycle, which is what I'm telling you. Watch for the grading. That's a whole nother thing. We'll get into that here in a minute. But the other one, and my favorite one, is Raja Krishnamurthy out there in Washington, D.C. 3 years ago, Raja's people took us through a series of security checkpoints, corridors, all this stuff, to a door that if we would have gone through the door, we would have been right on C-SPAN. It was right outside the House floor. And he came out after taking a vote on a farm bill and told us that, you know what, he's with the bikers. Problem is, we've asked for his support several times on the anti-profiling resolution that is pending before Congress, and yet we've never gotten it. So that leads us to tonight's rant and roll. I'm going to bring Chris on here, and we're going to talk about just exactly who the heck are our friends. Chris, you've seen this before. You were up there in Northern Illinois. How many times do you see politicians that drop in on biker events and then you never see them again?
Well, yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. They like the photo op and they like the support of ABATE, and then all of a sudden we're looking for them when we have an issue and can't find them anywhere. I can't find the cave that they went and hid in, so I don't know.
And this is unfortunately something that we see a lot of. And then, right at election cycle, your local chapters, you're going to have all sorts of people come to you and they're going to go, hey, I'll support ABATE. I just need to be able to speak in front of your group. Hey, I'm for you 110%. Just let me do this. Just let me do that. Please don't. Please talk to the political action committees. Give me a call. Give me an email. Talk to Chris here. He's the Northeast. He's one of the Northeast region trustees. Him, Pat Jones, Dan Harper, Rich Gruner, those guys watch over the Northeast area for us. Talk to the political action committees when these politicians start coming and talking to you, because this is something that we're starting to see a lot of. I'll give you another one. Sean Caston out there in Washington, D.C. We tried scheduling an interview with him. We tried scheduling a meeting with them. If you see, Chris is already doing the bobblehead thing right next to me. I'm going to let him speak on Caston here in a minute. But this is something that we face. Caston's people were like, yeah, we'll do a Zoom meeting with you. They didn't want to do it in person. And then literally ghosted us like a really abusive boyfriend or something. Just totally, completely ghosted, gone, out of the picture, no clue, bad date, whatever you want to call them. But Chris, you had an interesting meeting with Sean Caston. Let's talk about that. What happened there?
Well, I mean, what happened was Sean Caston pretty much point blank came out without saying it and said, I could give two craps about motorcyclists. We went in, it was almost the same meeting that we had with Lauren Underwood and got the same response was, uh, hey, Sean, these are our deals. This is what we're concerned about, the whole day. And his basic response was, I really don't care. I don't have time. This is not my priority. Go talk to someone else. We have bigger fish to fry, the environmental issues, and we need green deals and all this crap. You motorcyclists don't matter. It was the same thing with Lauren Underwood. Lauren Underwood told us that motorcyclist profiling wasn't real. We just make it up to get sympathy. Ethanol issues. Well, the motorcycle manufacturers should just figure out how to make it work. Stuff like that. And it was an absolute joke to the point where I had to leave because I was not going to be very nice and I was trying not to bring a bad name to A.B.A.T.E. So I had to get the hell out of that room.
So there you go, two brand new Congress people. Well, Lauren Underwood just recently got reelected up there in her congressional district, but Sean Caston's new to us. So is Lauren, somewhat, fairly much. But at the same time, man, this is what we're dealing with up there. This is the kind of stuff that we have to deal with politicians. We have to know who our friends are, and when our friends ask for help, which we're going to see a lot of coming up. We've got redistricting going on. When those friends ask for help, when they ask for you to carry signs, when they ask for you to walk in parades, when they ask for you to talk to your friends or to talk at meetings, and they're friends of ours, we need to do this. When they ask us to attend their events, we need to do this. Because you heard me mention earlier on the trailer plate thing. Go look at how much money Operating Engineers 150 has. It's ridiculous. It's actually built into their road building contracts that whatever contractor hires their people ends up paying money into their political action committee. That's how their political action committee is so massively well funded. We've got something they don't, though. We've got people who will actually respond to calls to action. We've got people who are capable of getting the word out amongst themselves. We may not have money, but we've got people. But the only way that works is if the people keep responding. And that's what we need you out there to do. We need you to help our friends. So when we ask you to show up for different things or to make calls, please keep doing it. We do pretty good at it. But do remember who our friends are. One of my favorite ones to point out, former Governor Bruce Rauner. This guy wore his Canaryville Veterans Association vest everywhere. I rode with him several times down here in Springfield. But when push came to shove on driverless vehicles, we got the shove. Flat out, we got the shove. We got shown the door. He saw the new money coming in from bigger businesses. You know what? Bikers weren't as valuable to him anymore. And that's why our political action committee rescinded his endorsement back then. So as we go through this next election cycle, which is going to be seriously gearing up over these next few months, keep these words in mind. Know who our friends are. Talk to our friends. If you've got somebody who you think we should be taking a look at, let us know. Chris, you got anything you want to add here?
I just want to tack on to the point you made about them asking, when they ask for help, we need to help. And I'll give you an example. Last year, Jeff Kiker needed help walking door to door and placing signs. And he came to A.B.A.T.E into the Northeast region and got a hold of me because we're good friends. He's very good for A.B.A.T.E and said, "Hey, I need help. Can A.B.A.T.E help me?" And we put out a call to action to the Northeast region. 3 people showed up, and that's not near enough. Now, thankfully, Jeff has worked with A.B.A.T.E enough to know that, hey, people have lives and stuff, and this is what it is, and he still works with us. But think about that. We have how many thousands of members? And these people need our help because now when we go screaming and yelling about trailer plates or profiling issues, we want them to remember, hey, we all showed up to help you. Now it's payback time. Help us, because if we don't show up, we lose that card to play.
All right, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We just need to remember who our friends are, who isn't there with us, and we need to be there for those friends. We thought we would bring that up. Chris, have yourself a wonderful evening. We will see you back here next week, Wednesday, the 26th. We'll bring Chris back for more events and more discussions about what's going on. Hopefully, we'll have more news on the trailer plate stuff and on our other bills that have gone through. Chris, have yourself a good one, buddy.
You too.
Yep. And that was our state public relations coordinator, Chris Hansen, talking over, who our friends are and why that's important for us. Going through the comments real quick, we covered the trailer plate issues. We saw that going on. Melissa says you're bringing 5 people from work as potential new members for the state party. Well, that could be really fun and interesting. Are you sure you want to bring them? I'm just saying, could be a lot of fun for us. Fresh meat, always appreciated at state parties, usually treated like royalty, but can get a little shenanigan-like here and there. I also see Tyler asking for help out of Rockton area. Somebody send him info to join. We posted up our website for you, Tyler. You can join there. But I see that Taz reached out to you from Kishwaukee Valley. Look, Taz is a really good dude. Get with him, Tyler. He will walk you through everything. Heck, I guarantee you if you show up to the next meeting, Taz will probably walk you around and introduce you to all sorts of people up there in the Rockford area with Kishwaukee Valley A.B.A.T.E. Can't say enough about that chapter up there. Really good people. Let's see, what else is going on down there? I see 10 Mile Creek, Heart of Illinois, Big River. Everybody's saying they're here. KVA, Kishwaukee checking in. Of course, Lemoyne Valley's there. We greatly appreciate everybody that shows up every week to watch these shows and to get the word out. But seeing nothing else going on out there, it is just about 8:30. So we're going to wrap this up. We will be back May 26th, 2021, 8 p.m. will be next week's This Week in A.B.A.T.E. right before the Memorial Day weekend. I'll let you know if there's anything going on that we need to be moving about. Until then, stay tuned to our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and be checking your emails now and then, looking for MailChimp emails. If something moves quick, that's where you're going to find out about it. Until then, this has been This Week in A.B.A.T.E. Everybody have themselves a good week. We'll see you later.